Jubilant. Extremely joyful, happy. The crowd was jubilant when the firefighter carried the woman from the flaming building. Judicious. Having or exercising sound judgment. When the judicious king decided to compromise rather than send his army to its certain death, he was plotted. Juxtaposition. The act of placing two things next to each other for implicit comparison. The interior designer admired my juxtaposition of the yellow couch and green table. Knell. The solemn sound of a bell, often indicating a death. Echoing throughout our village, the funeral knell made the stormy day even more grim. Kudos. Praise for an achievement. After the performance, the reviewers gave the opera singer kudos for a job well done. Laceration. A cut, tear. Because he fell off his bike into a rosebush, the paperboy's skin was covered with lacerations. Laconic. Terse in speech or writing. The author's laconic style has won him many followers who dislike wordiness. Languid. Sluggish from fatigue or weakness. In the summer months, the great heat makes people languid and lazy. Larceny. Obtaining another's property by theft or trickery. When my car was not where I had left it, I realized that I was a victim of larceny. Largesse. The generous giving of lavish gifts. My boss demonstrated great largesse by giving me a new car. Latent. Hidden, but capable of being exposed. Sigmund's dream represented his latent paranoid obsession with other people's shoes. Laudatory. Expressing admiration or praise. Such laudatory comments are unusual from someone who is usually so reserved in his opinions. Lavish. 1. Given without limits. Because they had worked very hard, the performers appreciated the critics' lavish praise. 2. To give without limits. Because the performers had worked hard, they deserved the praise that the critic lavished on them. Legerdemain. Deception, sleight of hand. Smuggling the French plants through customs by claiming that they were fake was a remarkable bit of legerdemain. Lenient. Demonstrating tolerance or gentleness. Because Professor Oglethorpe allowed his students to choose their final grades, the other teachers believed that he was excessively lenient. Lethargic. In a state of sluggishness or apathy. When Jean-Claude explained to his boss that he was lethargic and didn't feel like working that day, the boss fired him. Liability. 1. Something for which one is legally responsible, usually involving a disadvantage or risk. The bungee jumping tower was a great liability for the owners of the carnival. 2. A handicap, burden. Because she often lost her concentration and didn't play defense, Marcy was a liability to the team. Libertarian. Advocating principles of liberty and free will. The dissatisfied subjects overthrew the monarch and replaced him with a libertarian ruler who respected their democratic principles. Licentious. Displaying a lack of moral or legal restraints. Merrilee has always been fascinated by the licentious private lives of politicians. Limpid. Clear, transparent. Mr. Johnson's limpid writing style greatly pleased readers who disliked complicated novels. Linchpin. Something that holds separate parts together. The linchpin in the prosecution's case was the hair from the defendant's head, which was found at the scene of the crime. Lithe. Graceful, flexible, supple. Although the dancers were all outstanding, Jae-sun's control of her lithe body was particularly impressive. Litigant. Someone engaged in a lawsuit. When the litigants began screaming at each other, Judge Cook ordered them to be silent. Lucid. Clear, easily understandable. Because Guinevere's essay was so lucid, I only had to read it once to understand her reasoning. Luminous. Brightly shining. The light of the luminous moon graced the shoulders of the beautiful maiden. Lurid. Ghastly, sensational. Gideon's story, in which he described a character torturing his sister's dolls, was judged too lurid to be printed in the school's literary magazine.